Beautiful work of the Soweto Gospel Choir. They arrived home triumphant after winning a Grammy Award for the third time. And the winning album is entitled Freedom in the Best World Music Album category. This was the group's first nomination in the Best World Music category. And joining us tonight to talk about it is album producer Diniloxolo Ndlakuse, who's to my left, who's received the award on behalf of the choir, and Ndlakuse is joined by Ipeleng Moshe, a member of the choir. Welcome to you both and congratulations.
Thank you.
Just listening to that music, I was becoming emotional and, feeling a lot of very spiritual album from what inspired it. I know it was for the 100-year anniversary of Madiba's life, but what was the thinking behind it?
Well, it's a great concept, mainly because we are not only celebrating Nelson Mandela, we are celebrating our fallen heroes and unsung heroes that were in the struggle. Remember, in the 1960, we were not there. 1976, we were not there when there were riots and there was a massacre. But the fact that there were people trying to make this South Africa well, that's why we're celebrating those people with singing the struggle songs.
And Ipeleng, from an artistic perspective, obviously your own interpretation to some of these age-old struggle songs, how did you relate to them?
Well, because we are a younger generation and we know what the country went through, what our sisters and brothers went through, we had to put our emotions into the work, put our hearts into the work so that we deliver and mean what we say.
So what kind of images were coming to mind? What was it that was spurring you on? Was it your own struggles as young people now?
It's a bit of both. Our own struggles, what we're facing now, and obviously what they faced in the past, so our brothers and sisters, because it was very brutal times. They were not very comfortable times, and obviously when you sing and think about what you're singing and the message, you have to mean it and actually play it to the audience or people at large who are listening.
And that's what I'm thinking, Diniloxolo. What were you thinking when you won that Grammy? I mean, the world music category is one of the most prestigious.
Oh my word.
Also typically one of the most difficult to clinch.
Oh my word, I couldn't believe it. Remember, because we started Soweto Gospel Choir, when they announced they started with F, I thought it was a different group altogether, but it was Freedom Soweto Gospel Choir. I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. I was pinching myself after, even after when I was here in South Africa. So it's quite uplifting. It makes me very fulfilled because the world heard us once more, as we celebrated Mandela's centenary, and that we are telling a story with these struggle songs.
And I suppose with world music, typically what happens is, even if you don't understand the words, it's about the feelings that are conveyed through it, Ipeleng, and people are just taken away with it. Was that what people were saying about the music? What were they saying about why they felt that it was worthy of such an accolade?
Well, because like you're saying, it's a world music. It's contemporary. It's mixed with our African stuff, and it's unique. And we interpreted it in a way that only we know how to. And seeing the emotions, seeing the beautiful and happy faces as well, because it's not always sad, it's also happy songs. When we portray that, it was
Take
amazing.
Me through to the recording studios when you were doing this as a group. How many members are there now?
About how many?
30?
60 members
Wow.
now. We have a third choir now. We just opened a third choir right now. So the group is getting,
So
huge and huge.
take
and
me
huge.
into that production studio. What was going on, the feeling together? Because as you say, these are deeply emotional songs.
Absolutely. What's important is where we started from. We are a gospel group. Gospel means spreading good news. So it doesn't matter what kind of music, as long as you spread good news. So Soweto Gospel Choir is very diverse. We can sing any song.
Mm-hmm.
So with this album, we actually pray to God that God, please help us to sustain this album, so that it can, if it reaches to people's hearts, it can mean something to them. And exactly that's what it did. That's why actually it had won a Grammy award. So in that studio, it was, the choir, those guys, they really work. So it was very, very
Ipeleng,
exciting.
when you walked out of that studio, did you guys have bonding over issues? Did it open up different channels of communication? And I'm just trying to fit myself in there. As I said, just listening to that song, I think it takes everybody everywhere, depending on what their life story is.
Well, when we were busy with the album last year, like I said, we had to go back into the history because it's the struggle songs. Like I said, some of us.
But I'm just talking about you as a team when you were working together. I mean, did it bring about new emotions? Did it open up different avenues?
Different avenues, a mixture of emotions, different feelings, and it's a new project. It's totally different to what we used to. It's freedom, and it just opened like it I think it elevated us in a way as well, musically, as individuals, to a broader spectrum of in the music industry.
Now, I'm just curious, at your age, when you look at South Africa, because this is a quintessentially South African album, and South Africa going through the difficulties that it is now in transition, what message are you putting out there to young people about our past, our history, and also to South Africans in general? What would you like them to feel? I mean, you can both answer the question. Let's start with you, Ipeleng.
Well, it has a very deep meaning, because last year, that it was Mandela's 100th year birthday. So when we were doing and making the album and singing, we were saying that, look, this is who we are, this is what we've been through as a country, this is where we are now, and it's beautiful. We've grown, our brothers and sisters have healed from what they went through. Unfortunately, we can't erase it. It's part of our history. It is there, so we keep on shining.
So Diniloxolo, you had Asimbonanga by Johnny Clegg, and that crossover effect. Johnny Clegg has always been regarded also very much as part of the South African struggle picture, especially in encouraging people through his music. So what are you saying to South Africans in general about how to bring back that spirit of working together, of seeing each other in each other's faces?
It's a really great point that you are saying. We didn't only do songs featuring Johnny Clegg. We even did songs songs that Mir Makeba was singing, like in Bombela as well. So those people, those are the ones that are actually active in the struggle. So that's what keeps us, going on. So basically that's
okay. So what's next for the Soweto Gospel Choir? What projects are you looking at? I know you said you've launched a new band. Is it the third band? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the third band was introduced mainly because the first cast and second cast were overseas.
We're on tour.
Yeah, we're on tour. So the first cast was in USA, and the second cast was in Europe. Because of the demand in South Africa, that's when we actually established a third choir. They were doing very well, though.
Ipeleng, you guys have worked with the #1 artists in the world. Tell us about some of those favorite experiences of yours.
It's mind-blowing. It's overwhelming. I think it's every little girl's dream or desire to fly and go abroad and be on big stage, on international stage, and
support
share,
acts like Beyonce.
Of course. And the likes of John Legend, the likes of Celine Dion, Peter Gabriel. The list is endless. Josh Groban, Stevie Wonder. So it's a dream. It was like a dream come true for me personally, and having to tour around the world, it's also beautiful. We don't only tour, we sightsee as well, and it was an amazing, still is. I mean, even here at home, we collaborate and sing with our national stars, you know, and it's beautiful.
Final question, Diniloxolo, the men's conference?
The men's conference.
Attendant.
Yeah, since
I see your
well,
stamp.
he's here. Yeah, he's
no, I'm
here.
here.
I'll give you a break.
I'll
Thank you very much to both of you for joining us, and all the best. Diniloxolo Ndlakuse, who is the album's producer, and Ipeleng Moshe is a choir member of the Soweto Gospel Choir, as you saw their great win for them, 3rd Grammy.